off this trend, which I keep having to redraw because I'm not saving it, still hasn't really broken through this trend line. Every time it dips, it ends up holding the trend. I'm waiting for it to break that trend to get back into the short. That's the difference between today and yesterday, just keeping it a little bit more clean. Micron has a chance to break out. It's holding a trend line as well, which I was waiting for another retap at that bottom at 94. We might not get it. And one more for you. That was the fourth and one of the other names we were watching. I've only traded 3 names today. Thankfully, 2 for 3, and this time not bungling Intel, so it wipes out the wins. And that's going to be Nike. You know, Nike, which we gave 0 chance or a very slim chance of getting back to 69, is at its highs and still going higher. So it could get into pre-market high 68 or even into that 69 area, which would be a gap fill. And that's a gap fill, a monster gap fill on the, well, it's not a monster gap fill. It's a monster support level that'd be the filling the gap to, which is another place I'm looking for shorts because I'm looking to fade moves until proven otherwise. Right here today, Nasdaq's down 0.7%. ES is still down, so we can patiently wait for the next setup. It's 10:40. We got a couple of super chats in here. Apologies for missing that. We got Ben's Spy Max Payne 580. That looks way too high. Could you give your opinion? Well, I mean, if you're looking at, to me, on a day like today, you don't throw out any levels. Like, did we think that Micron was going to get to 94 today? Not really. It seemed unrealistic. I ended up getting to it there. I would argue that is one of those, no. Like, there's almost no chance that you could see 580 on the spot. I hate speaking in certainties like that, but come on. Like, that's way too much to expect for us to get to there, Benza. So if you're looking for levels to work off of, that's not a realistic one for a day trade. Maybe if you're waiting for a couple of weeks or like maybe next week for sure. Valley Palms, thank you for the super chat. Any on RGC? No, haven't looked at it. I've been holding since 1066 since last Wednesday. Not sure if I should ring the bell or register. Where'd it go? That just disappeared live when I clicked away. Shoot, I was just looking at that RGC one. Oh. Now it's gone.
I didn't see it.
No, but well, we got the symbol anyways. That is so weird. Sorry about that, but it doesn't matter. We got the symbol for you there. So RGC, like I haven't looked at this thing at all. This is the. No one ever went broke taking profits. I don't know what this is, but I've got a strong suggestion that if you took out a breakout here and it's already taken out that top, just do some simple math. That is literally a double up from a prior high on a stock which has a history of doing that and then coming all the way back in. So, hey, congratulations. I don't know what this thing is. Probably one of those low for runners. It's done 600,000 shares, so there's not a lot of liquidity with it. But you're up 5x. And who knows what these guys do. So congratulations to you. But every time I look at one of those charts, I always cringe when people don't take profit.
Largest TQQ position now on. Let's go over to Adara.
Lots of red in this market today as reflected in our sector board. But really where to start, I think finance is maybe one of the most sharply red sectors. Berkshire Hathaway, which is just at all-time highs yesterday, sharply down in the day. Consumer services pretty red. Producer manufacturing red. Health technology red. Energy minerals also red. Retail trade, utilities, commercial services, consumer non-durables here. Of course, Nike pushing this group to the downside on earnings. Health services, industrials, non-energy minerals here, and then also distribution services. Now, with our tech names, again, it's going to be red, but there are some hope spots. Netflix nicely up on the day. Google and Meta relatively flat, but Microsoft pushing to the downside along with Oracle. Electronic technology, Apple and Broadcom a little bit more muted today, but Cisco, NVIDIA all right here as well, as is Micron. Micron, of course, earnings day one. So a lot of these earnings names are pushing down these moves in their sectors, guys. Back to you.
All right. Just a quick little update there. Like, this went up to the 200 period moving average. So we're already in scalp mode. If this drops, here we go. If this drops below 59.85, we're going to be gone because now the futures are going the other way completely. So in tune of not losing your whole day, as we talked about that over and over again, this right now is out 20 handles. It looks like it does want to come back in here. So we could wind up losing net on this. But again, at the end of the day, good outs up there at 20 and 25s. It's just looks like we will. I mean, I don't know if we hit it, but there's the VWAP. We gave it a little bit of love underneath it. So the fact that we bounced a little bit right here, I'm going to take out another 5% if we can. I'm waiting at 06s here. I don't really know why 06, just because. And again, the reason why I offer a little bit higher than the offer most of the times, or bid a little bit lower than the bid, is to make sure that we get picked up, because if you punch in, it is a different fee structure. But at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. You don't ever want to miss even 1 penny by doing something like that. So just be careful doing those methods. But at the end of the day, now we're flat on this trade. Again, I don't know. We're buying it off of VWAP. We could have waited, but I tried to take things a little bit ahead of VWAP. This seems to be a little bit more aggressively ahead of it. We probably should have waited. So we'll take out a piece there, sort of, learn our lesson. If this comes back up, I don't have any more offers. I have one at 60.20 this time. So we'll see if we can get out of that. And then after that, 60.30. But, we're going to wait. Get some orders out, get focused here, see if the TQs does make that move higher. We're long right now at $60.09 on a decent position. Getting lighter up here. There it is. We take that fill as well. So, okay, Neil. I'm always saying this because, like, I'm in so many positions and averaging in and averaging out. But right now we're at the highest spot again that we've been at all day. And it's only, again, because we did put on some shares here. So I'm going to get out of some more right now at 19. And there it is. We get that again on TQs. Take these 12 handles, 13, 15 handles on bigger positions, fine. And then if it rips up, we still will have a piece on. So we've got half left right now. And I'm not super proud of getting out of half. But again, we'll put the money in our pocket. There's only now 15 minutes left before we go up to the midday show, which I'm hoping these guys are around. And then after that, we'll get going. So for right now, it is what it is. We're starting to get some out on the TQs. My next out is $60.30. Here it goes, man. Let's go, Neil. These are chicken dinner winners now. That's what we're freaking talking about right now. So, oh yeah, nice trading there as it goes back up to the upside, man. We take the risks. We get the money. There it is. Finally, TQ starting to go back upside. It was a little frustrating for a minute there. We're going to take a little bit more out there at 27. Let's go right now. Number one P&L name today, Micron, followed by TQs. Let's just see if this can keep going, because in 1 second, the TQs could be the number one P&L name to the downside. So let's just, stay in our positions and watch out for this, man. I mean, it's been a big trade. We're watching levels. We're playing off VWAP. There it goes. Let's see if it can keep on going. So what's up, Adam DeLuz right there? I know you're a real one as well. So congratulations. Hopefully these features can work out for us, but I don't know. I'm starting to get a little lighter on all of these positions, my guys. So there it is. We just took another out there at $60.16. Take those 12, 15 handles. If we can scalp out, fine, because hey, man, money is money and it can disappear real quick. Best outs right now, 29s. So let's see what happens.
Yeah, this market's starting to get a little bit range bound, but every time we rub the trend line here, I'm going to get in and just wet the beak. Not going to get in full until it breaks it. So same thing as before, give it to the prior high. I'm talking about Intel, obviously, as you guys can see with the chart here. That's the only thing I'm watching. Palantir looks awfully strong. And you know what? I feel like when Palantir is strong, sometimes you should just take the shot and run. The tape is distinctly stronger than the other stocks I'm watching. It's stronger than NVIDIA. It's stronger than right now the market. So unless I see, like here, you were rejecting 87.5. Like you see the wick tops on the 3-minute, like you were rejecting those. So I feel more confident, liking a short when you have those wick tops, as opposed to pressing the way the Palantir is. So we're going to let it break 88 and then work into where it was the short yesterday. I'm not going to reload that one. We're just in Intel. Still has to break the trend to add to it, just like the time before. And a shout out to Nicole Harris. You're trading opening range on ORB, remaining patient for a clear break. A day with both political news and triple witching. The fake out risk is high. I agree. I mean, isn't there political news every day these days, though? Mm-hmm. I feel like that's almost always the case. But on a witching day, yeah, there's going to be lots of fake outs, and you want to make sure for the trade that you're in, it's going to look good. Like I'm in less stocks than I was yesterday, because there were like mean reversions everywhere. Like here today, and I look back at maybe I should have been in QBTS. I'd make a strong argument that, while I had Intel up for the reversion, I could have just had QBTS up. So I can slot to fail on that one, but You're not going to have every single trade, just happy to be up today and still looking for that next opportunity, whether it's in Palantir or still right here with Intel. It goes right into that prior high. Doesn't scream to the downside, QBTS, but it is slowly heading to the downside there. Nike is the other one that I'm watching out for. It's got a little bit of a bull flag, just kind of hoping it breaks it out and gives us a chance to the upside. But it now has also a very, very distinct trend for Nike. You can suddenly connect the dots. It's not at 68 or 69, but I didn't think their quarter was good. And it's still underneath that prior support level on the daily chart for Nike. Down 7%. I do believe it tagged 10% to the downside. So this technically was an SSR bounce, I think, that you could have had. But it's about to break its trend line as well. So Nike was the only other name that we're looking short. Palantir, Nike, and Intel.
Yeah, man. Nice. Yeah, congrats. Nice battle back after yesterday. So, okay, man.
Yesterday we'll battle back in the afternoon. The morning was terrible.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if you're green or red yesterday. But here we go, man. Here goes the TQs. I'm offering right now $60.44. So here we go. This is going to be a good trade. It's 30, 40 handles. Let's see if we can take these outs. I mean, we are just scalping. That's what we do best. And we're just going to continue to do that one more time here today. We've had this month, I think we've had like 1 or 2 red days. So, oh no, what's Obi doing? Where's Sharif at? Oh, he's not here. Was Sharif not here this morning?
Yeah, he was. Of course he was.
Oh, he
was
was
on the desk this morning.
Okay, yeah, no problem. I didn't know if he was filming something.
I was wondering where he was.
Yeah, remember I looked over there and I was like,
because usually, you know what it is?
Yeah.
You smell his, like the egg dish that he has every single morning. Like you smell it just.
Oh, that's what it is.
He heats it up and you're like, okay, Sharif's at the desk eating that 25 egg concoction that he has each morning. No, but let's go to, apparently we're going to the desk. It's time for Money Talks. It's 10:50, everybody.
We're going to get into Money Talks, of course, but I really want to remind everyone at 11 a.m., we have a catalyst on watch. This has been reported by a lot of different entities, including the Wall Street Journal. Donald Trump does have a press conference scheduled with Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth at 11 a.m. in about 10 minutes. At this conference, they are expected to announce a multi-billion-dollar jet fighter. So I've seen that both Lockheed Martin and Boeing are on watch for potential moves with regards to this catalyst, but other defense talks, of course, include Palantir and RTX. So this announcement apparently is going to be for a jet fighter, which could be the most expensive fighter in history. And it's apparently a jet that the Air Force does believe will be vital to deter China's military in decades ahead. So that is the catalyst we're on watch for today at 11 a.m. With that in mind, let's get into the US dollar, which is trying to curl a little bit. We talked a lot about this downtrend, this push to the downside, but now we actually have a 3-day winning streak. Now, the area of resistance we really need to clear would be this 104.10. As of right now, we're trading just below 104s. Here's the CME FedWatch tool. Of course, after that meeting, which went as expected, more or less with regards to the decision on Wednesday, there was no change in the rates. Now here for May, we are still seeing 84% of participants expecting, once again, we will have no change in the rates. However, about 15.6% expecting there's going to be a 25 basis point cut. Things start to get really interesting, though, in June. Now we have the overwhelming majority of participants here, about 64.4%, expecting we're going to get a 25 basis point rate cut in June. 24, almost 25% still expect we're going to have no change, but then 11% actually expecting a 50 basis point cut. So in June, we really start to see participants pricing in a potential rate cut going forward. May, though, it looks like we're going to have rates stay the same as of right now. Keep an eye on these defense stocks once again as we knock on the door of 11 o'clock. Back to you.
Yeah, all right. Thanks, Dara. But right now we got to go over what's for lunch. So it was pretty good yesterday. I think the sandwiches were well received. We had chicken salad on our as a topper as the protein. I'm hoping today for tuna as I've reached out. All right, today's a great one, man. Butter chicken is in the building. Hopefully today is what we're reading there with vegetable biryani, aloo gobi, which is real nice, man. We like that, man. Cauliflower in there as well with the aloo gobi, of course. So we're really happy with those. Again, little South Asian there meal today. So props up to our caterers. They've been doing a heck of a job, and that is what is indeed.
I'm getting some of the butter chicken for sure.
For lunch.
That's a no.
Right
I
over
didn't
there.
have a sandwich, but
yeah, you guys are all very. Neither did I. You guys are all very lucky to have Obi. So Obi's going to be coming through in about 5 or so minutes right there. So we'll see some, we'll see some trades happening there on the midday with Joe and Obi. So we're getting ready for that coming through. Joby is in the building
Adobe
there
got
on the midday. So yeah, man, let's go. My wife makes a crazy butter chicken, man. And we actually had that on the weekend. That was absolutely fantastic. You got to have the fresh naan and stuff.
Yes, that's the.
And then we use the biryani rice as well. So yeah, I'm all about that.
Got to be fresh.
We put on like 4 pounds.
I wonder if they'll have fresh. Sometimes we get naan here. I'm hoping they'll have that.
Yeah, it doesn't say it, but yeah.
Usually I thought we get naan bread.
Yeah, I don't think normally it says like when we get pitas, it doesn't say it.
So, yeah, it doesn't tell you.
Yeah, we'll see. This morning's breakfast was Western omelets. They weren't too bad. I cut one in half there. It's all right. I don't really prefer the omelet, but it's okay. Pastries and bagels, fresh whole fruit. And then I actually just recently here, you guys follow on Instagram. This is generally what is for lunch or for breakfast. So you get the fruit, the pastries, and then in there, it was hard-boiled eggs on Monday. So we put that up on the old gram right there. Make sure you go follow us on all of our socials. Instagram, I just found out that Trader Joseph has it, at TRADERTV Joseph. So go find him as well. But yeah, Micron is dripping down a little bit. So I have like, I already told you guys this, I have 2% left. Like once we went up there, that was the fills. We were waiting there for those fills. They came through. So we talked about it. This is a great reload spot. Honestly, it's just, I'm going to wait a little bit lower.
94.
Into 94.20s or so. So again, pick your poison if you're interested in any of these names. But for me, I'm going to wait a little bit. And we're not even dropping down. Like my net is not changing at all. It is, but not by much. The TQs here is a little interesting. I'm going to take out. I just wanted to call this up. I wanted to trade it sort of in front of you guys. We've now traded a couple outs here. Sorry, just one out at 60.20. There it is. I'm getting another one right there. That's the 50 period, and it's also the 200 period. Adam and everybody else, there's that 45 fill that we got. So we did make some nice hits up there to the upside. And the thing is, like, we pride ourselves on reading tape and reading charts. I mean, that's why every day, like, you're never going to see me go like 2 and 6 or anything like that on a name. It's my problem on stocks on the, like, if I trade 8 stocks, pretty much I'll be 4 for 4. That's generally what it is. But it's share size. It's because, like, it's about trying to figure out, and Obi and I have talked about this, the most important thing about trading is the share size and figuring out when to use more and when to use less. And it's just like, that's the big thing. So I'm trying to get better on averaging. Like, this didn't even really hurt because we averaged in right here. So when we got stopped out, sure, we got stopped out, we take the L, but see, we just took another fill there at 30s. So it's just like, when this happens, as long as we're at the right prices, just like right here, right? Like, we got it closer to VWAP. We didn't average in all the way, right here on these futures trades. Like, this is the evolution. Honestly, you're seeing it live right there. Like, I'm telling you, I'm making more money this month than last month, than the month before again. And here go the futures right back up to the high side. So, we're getting much, much better at what we're doing right there. So there it goes, man. There's your hot dog trade of the day again. So there we go. Another one, Neil. There's another 50 handles for everybody. So boom goes the dynamite. Again, man, trading these futures has really changed the game here for us at Trader TV Live.
Yeah, that's what's all about. Have your style of action. Like, I don't like averaging in, but if whatever works for you. If you're a scalper, you're a scalper. Let me get off pounds here for a quick little second because I got to go over to Intel. We got it. It does not break the trend. So we don't give it to the prior high. We'll take a shot at Intel. Still at least not going to be giving it away on the stock. It still wants to head to the upside.
Boy.
Still going to wait for this 24.5 level. That's going to be the next play. But sometimes the best trade you make could be one that you avoid. And I didn't reload pounds here, and we're glad it's looking incredibly strong now on pounds here heading back. And it looks like we're going to get at that run at the 89 to 90 level on PLTR. I do still favor Micron. I know Micron broke down or is breaking down. I still like this 94 level. I think we'll go back. If it can do any kind of a trend reverse off the 94, I'm still going to jump in. Only 3 minutes to go. Nike, which we just got into for the first time here today. So that's the only other stock that we traded. It broke an uptrend, and we're looking for a VWAP retrace there on Nike. So pretty much the only thing that we are left in. Intel will have to wait for 24.4, something along those lines, and Micron going to wait for that 94 level for sure. Thank you, Epic Strategy. You're a holder, but you love the content. Everyone's a holder in the long term, but there's always a place to learn from even just process, because process is transferable across all kind of time frames. And random IBO ready to go again or topping. I had not been tracking that small cap stock. And I'm in the midday with Sharif not here. I don't know if anyone's going to be looking at that IBO. It doesn't look incredibly liquid, but it's done like 74 million shares. Hopeful level 2, it doesn't look like it would be, but this is an incredibly strong one. Good luck trading it for sure. Just remember, this was a 40-cent stock 2 days ago, and it's now at $6. So there's going to be profit takers on any kind of a pullback on a name like this. So always be careful trading these names. And no one can, to me, you never go broke taking profit. I don't like them because I find there's no good risk to reward when you try to trade those. To me, I like risk to reward. And if you can determine where you want to get out, but can't be sure where you're going to get out when it breaks, that's a little bit troubling, usually for me. That's why chasing these moves I don't like. If you can get it in these tighter ranges in here, fine. But I don't like chasing those types of moves. So good luck with that IBO if you happen to be trading it. Looks like a good one, but not for me. To each their own.
Thanks, Calvin. We really appreciate those kind words there because, yeah, man, the TQs and the futures have really been great. We'll watch out to see what's going on with your Nike position. Micron, again, we were talking about maybe not buying that one, but it looks like that was a mistake. Should have bought it for sure as we look to see what's going on right now with Micron as it's bouncing off that 94.50 right back up to 95 again. So Micron trying to make them sing a little bit right there. We'll watch to see if it continues its climb higher back into the 50 period. If we can get that, then we can get that. There's nothing else.
Another one.
We've been giving you these trades all day. And there goes the futures, man. We've talked about it. We've done it right now. We're holding it. We've got those diamond hands on board right now. Obi, it's just 80 handles in the money. You're going to kill it on the midday, so go get that money right there too, my friend. So, yeah, so far so good right now. There it is. Nice moves on the TQs. It's gone. The number one P&L name will be Micron, followed by TQs, and then that's about it. And then I guess some of your trades will pop in there because I only have Tesla, which I am a latte down on. So right now, Tesla coming into play for a very, very small hit right there. But we are leading the day here. There goes, like now we're almost a whole 100 handles in the money right now on the futures. So there it goes, TQs. We're actually trading triple the futures right now. So nice upside move there as we choose the NASDAQ. And Pikachu, I choose you. Good show, Neil. Hopefully we'll be able to get a little bit more here on the midday. We'll be posting up in there. And damn, that butter chicken smells good.
It smells ridiculously good, but don't forget, it is witching today. So the close is going to be a different beast. When we come back on at 2 o'clock, there's 2 to 3:30, and then 3:30 to 4 is going to be a different beast. And if you've never paid attention to the close, it should be a wild one. You never really know. But last time was insane. Apple was absurd. The last time there was a quarterly rebalance. The trend up and the trend down was moves that you haven't seen in a long time on that stock. So make sure you tune in. But for now, you've got a treat because Obi, as Sean said, Obi is going to be joining Joey Options for Learn to Trade. Go get him, boys.
Filing your tax return is different on freetaxusa.com. First off, there are no extra fees for premium or self-employed taxes because the federal return is always free for everyone for all situations. You'll never pay extra for IRS e-filing or to get your biggest refund. Best of all, filing a state return is under $20 and all calculations are guaranteed 100% accurate. This year, save $100 or more by filing your taxes on freetaxusa.com.
There, I'm watching this Amazon right now as well. I know you were looking at Amazon, so I was looking at that. NVIDIA, we were just called out attempting to push for day highs, but look at that, just trading within the opening range. Nothing too crazy there. But yeah, let me know in the chat what you guys are trading, what's in play for you today. And yeah, quad witching. So definitely some interesting stuff at the close. Might be a little spicy, but we're more than capable of taking
hey, we can handle the heat and the spice. Hey, that's what we like to do. Yes. All right, guys, let's get right into it here. We'll take a look at what we got going on NVIDIA here real quick. If we can pull up my screen, you can see that we're in this. It took multiple attempts to get this really going here, guys. So I punched out right there, a little bit of paper hands, and I got right back in. I'm like, okay, let's play the crack of the high here. I got stopped out here, and then I'm like, okay, it's ready to go. This underlying just has multiple fake outs. That third attempt is usually the one where the ball really starts get rolling here, guys. So the tape is continuously strong. Nice entry in here. 116.41. We're in that. We got that crack there. How much do we have left here, Obi, before we dive into the lesson? Not much, about 30% left of this position. So we're going to hold that one for the dream, my friend. But let's get right into this lesson, guys. Lot to talk about. We were going over the basics of options yesterday. Now we're going to dive a little bit more into the Greeks and some other key things that we need to know for all those beginners or even experienced individuals out there. And next week, we're going to get into the advanced Greeks, all right? Something that we don't usually talk about quite often. So intro to options part 2, guys. Let's get right into it. So this is what we're going to be going over here today. Options, moneyness, the Greeks, at the money, in the money, out the money, and then some basic options strategies. Okay, guys? So, hey, if you go back yesterday, and then you go back or you stick with us here today and watch this lesson, you have no excuses on the fact that it's like, oh, I'm a little bit scared. Don't worry, we're here with you. I'm in some Amazon calls as well too, guys. I told you about that, working out pretty nicely right now. We're going to look to add to this position. All right, guys, let's get right into the Greeks. All right, so Delta. So first we'll talk about the Greeks and what exactly they are. So they're a metric, right? They're a financial metric used to gauge and how they affect underlying assets like these options contracts within the options contracts, all right? We're going to get right back into the Delta as soon as we get back from Madeira.
Great move here for Boeing to the upside. As mentioned here, we're waiting to hear an announcement with regards to a next-generation fighter jet contract worth billions of dollars. Boeing has received this contract. According to Bloomberg, President Donald Trump has awarded Boeing a next-generation fighter jet contract. Again, this is worth billions. Some people are speculating this could be the most valuable contract of its kind. I could not find a stream for this in the White House. It looks like they're not streaming this event, but keep an eye out for potential comments here coming through from Donald Trump and Pete Hegseth, Secretary of Defense, with regards to this announcement. Also worth keeping an eye on other defense-related names, including Palantir and I think more chiefly Lockheed Martin, which was also up for this contract, falling to the downside after Boeing receives it instead. So keep an eye on BA and LMT, any defense names with this catalyst in mind. Back to you.
Wow.
Wow.
That's
LMT, that momentum to the downside is absolutely crazy. All right, guys. So yeah, the Greeks are just a financial measure that used to gauge how the options contracts will fluctuate and how it affects it from a day-to-day basis. All right. So Delta, the primary Greek, something that we hyper focus on as options trader. This Greek measures the change in the options price for every 1 point move in the underlying asset or the stock itself. It's also referred to as the rate of change. All right, guys. So Delta has a range of -100 to 0 for puts and then 0 to +100 for calls. So the delta on puts will always be negative and the delta on calls will always be positive. All right. If the contract's delta is 0.8, this means the options price will change 80 cents. All right. In options terms, using the options contract multiplier of 100 means $80 for every $1 move. If the options contract is valued at $1 with a delta of 80 cents, the underlying asset has a $1 move. That means the options contract will now be valued at $1.80 or $180. All right, guys, fairly simple. All right, so this is just an example here of Delta. And you'll see it'll always be kind of at that half level, at that 50% level when you are at the money. And it's also gauged as a percentage metric of where that contract may expire, all right? So you can see here in this example, with these at the money calls and puts, our delta's about 50% here, all right? So we'll go 52%. So what does that mean? There's a 50% chance that this contract is going to close in the money or close out the money. But it's also a gauge in that if it has a $1 move, it's a rate of change. If it has a $1 move, that contract will now appreciate by $52. Okay, so if you can see here on the ask, if we go from 242 to 243.5, so if we go from 242.5 to 243, this contract will now be valued at $16.77. All right, so that's where you get that $50 increase, and that's not including gamma. All right, gamma we'll get into briefly here. All right, so gamma provides you with the expected change in delta for each $1 change in the underlying asset. At its greatest for at-the-money options, decreases after the option contract trades more in the money or out the money, okay? Gamma is always positive, and like theta, gamma increases as you approach expiration. So if you want to reduce your gamma exposure, you go further dated out, and then gamma is also referred to the rate of change is rate of change, right? It may sound confusing, but gamma is delta's delta, essentially, if that makes any sense. Okay, guys? So moving forward. So example, the contract has a delta of 0.7 and a gamma of 0.2 with the underlying asset moving from $100 to $101. The adjusted delta would now be 0.9 or $90. Okay, guys? Very simple stuff. So theta. Options writers love theta, all right? Doesn't necessarily, we don't, as options buyers, we don't really like that too much. That's why I always refer to buying more time, okay? That's exactly what I did with my Amazon calls. I don't want to have to worry about time decay too much, so we go further dated out, reduces our gamma exposure, and we don't have to worry about time decay within the underlying, all right? So theta is the Greek metric that represents time decay in contract values. If stock XYZ is, excuse me, $100 and its 105 call is $1 with a theta of 0.2, in simplistic terms, that means the options contract value will decrease $20 per day. All right. So while theta works in favor of option sellers, theta works against options buyers. All right, guys. So keep that in mind. Vega and IV. You'll see me often refer to this, increased implied volatility, keeping it correlated with the VIX. So Vega is a measure of volatility. Historical volatility is an actual measure of the stock's past price movement. So IB can essentially say, hey, you're looking for a plus or minus percentage range in that specific time period and what the underlying asset can fluctuate, okay? So IB or implied volatility is a measure of the stock's potential price movement. And then a volatility of 30% on a $100 stock determines that you might see a $30 swing to either direction over that extended period of time or whatever that time frame may be. All right, Rho, this is not the most commonly talked about options Greek, but that's okay. So Rho is the Greek that measures the influence of interest rates on an options contract pricing. It does not affect it that much, okay? So based off the risk-free interest rate, usually T-bills, treasury bills here, guys, least used Greek metric and least influential on the contract pricing. Okay, so moneyness, we're going to go over moneyness real quick before we send it over to Obi. Options moneyness is a fancy term of where the contract stands. In order to construct certain option strategies, you need to understand where and what contracts you are selecting. In the money, contract ITM is greater than 0. At the money is equal, it's flat, you're at that money. At that money, yeah. Out the money is less than 0, all right? So if that contract, if you have a $200 strike and the underlying asset is trading at $195, it is $5 out the money and holds no intrinsic value, all right? So here you can see we have all our metrics here. We have delta, IV, and everything along those lines. This is what we want to pay attention to here, guys, on the chain, okay? So strategies, beginner, long call, and put. Simplistic stuff, just buying a put means you have a bearish thesis. A long call just means you have a bullish one. Covered calls, all right. So if you own an underlying asset and you want to start selling some premium against that, if you see a temporary downtrend, then you can sell some covered calls. A protective put, so again, to the downside, you're looking to protect that, and then you can buy some puts on that. And then cash secured put, that is when you are selling options, but you have cash on the sideline to get acquired, to get assigned those options at that specific price, strike price that you are looking at. We're going to go over the intermediate option strategies in a moment here, guys. Let's see what we got going on. I'll let Obi get ready there. I'm waiting. It's looking like we're going to get stopped out break even here, Obi, on NVDA, but that's okay. Waiting for this to hold. This underlying is really, really tough to trade sometimes, and it's moving eastward. No definitive direction. So you can see a high amount of volume coming out of the open as well here too, guys. So we got to keep an eye out on that. But we are starting to come back into VWAP, and the volume to the downside is also starting to pick up. But that's what we got going on Amazon here, on NVDA. This is what we had going on Amazon earlier in the day. It's unfortunate that we missed the majority of the move, but I liked it here. You can see that we opened at the top of the range, and then I should have added to the position, but I did not. And then I actually hit an all out here by accident, which was slightly frustrating, but that is okay. So yeah, nice 2 trades, and I have one more on TQs here, guys. I didn't get much out of it. Again, I took some off here, and then I got stopped out break even, and then the market was just kind of moving sideways. I'm all out of NVDA right now, so not a horrible trade. I don't want to mess around with this underlying too much. We got the move that we were somewhat looking for, so we'll be patient. It seems that it wants to be slightly choppy, but I do like that FXI is breaking out here, Obi.
I'm watching just